Hello, EUC family. Let's watch as a cop pulls me over and then discuss some of the updates.
You can't just keep going.
How that?
You can't just keep going.
Oh, I saw him pressed up.
No, you kept going though.
Oh, I didn't know I was supposed to stop. I didn't see him.
You didn't see him stopping everybody else right there?
No.
Everybody waiting?
No, and then I saw him, so I stopped.
Those things I don't think are legal to ride on the road.
I'm staying on the bike lane.
It doesn't matter. How fast is that?
This one?
Yeah.
Speed limit.
More than 28 miles an hour, right?
No, we try to keep it about that.
But it'll go more than that, right?
Probably.
That's illegal to have on the road without it being registered.
I've tried to register it though, but they won't
Yeah,
let me.
yeah, that's right. So you can't have them on the road at all. Like, period. They're not allowed to be on the road.
Not even like bike lane.
They're for like off-road stuff. That's like those Cirons, those dirt bikes, electric dirt bikes.
Yeah.
Those are not allowed to be on the road. Those are not bicycles.
Okay.
Same with these things. They're not allowed to be on the road.
Yeah, I'm not trying to go on freeway. I'm trying to stay in like bike
It doesn't matter.
transportation.
It doesn't matter. They're not allowed to be on the road.
Okay, so I'm going to pick up our motorhome, and that's being repaired, so I thought this would be a good thing to pick up a vehicle, so I can put it in the vehicle and head on back.
That's a good idea, but it's not allowed to be on the road.
Okay.
You can't register them, which means, and like I said, they go faster than 28 miles an hour,
Yeah.
which means they are illegal to be on the road.
Okay.
It's like the electric bicycle. Those have a max speed of 28 miles an hour with the ones with the pedals.
Yeah.
If they don't have pedals, they're illegal.
So I can't limit this to 28 miles per hour.
Because they have pedals.
Yeah, these are standing pedals. I don't know.
But they're not like you don't with your feet to pedals.
So that would be a manual unicycle, something like those.
Right. So in that case, that is not considered a bicycle.
Okay.
Or a unicycle for that matter. It's considered a motor vehicle.
Yeah.
Whether it has one wheel, two wheels, whatever, it's still considered a motor vehicle.
Yeah, okay.
And
I
so-
don't get me wrong, I've tried to look this up. No, I've tried to stay on the side of the law.
Yeah.
In fact, I was looking up like the new California laws and trying to do videos on it to make sure that we're okay.
Yeah. They're not.
Okay.
They're absolutely not.
Yeah.
So, but unfortunately, there's all these cool things that have come out, like the electric bicycles, the electric motorcycles, all these cool things that have come out, and unfortunately, they're like these are okay for off-road.
Mm-hmm.
That's all they're okay for.
Okay.
But once you get on the street, there's no regulation for them,
Mm-hmm.
and so they're not allowed to be on the road.
Okay.
Right? You don't have very far for your motorhome?
No, it's just a camping world here on Riverside.
I'm not going to tell you to go home because that's probably just as far as going to camping world,
it is
right?
farther.
So just in the future, just know that that can't be on the roads.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah, I'm not trying to create a fuss
I get
or
it.
anything.
And
I would have stopped if I'd seen him. I didn't know why we were stopping. I'm sorry about that.
If you see everybody else stopping, I don't want you to get hit by one of these people.
No, yeah, I stopped right away. Safety first, every time.
Yeah. So
Yeah, totally.
Be safe on that thing, but just in the future, you can't be on this street, okay?
Okay.
And you might want to take a thing and go right now. So, all right.
Appreciate you.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay, welcome back. You found my family's channel all about electric unicycles. This is one of my favorite hobbies and something I enjoy doing every day. All right, if you've ever been pulled over by police, you know it's not smart to argue. Instead, I was legitimately curious about what he had to say. And honestly, I also wanted to be free to go. Ultimately, I'm grateful for this interaction. First, let me start by saying I'm not a lawyer or a judge. I'm just an EUC rider trying to learn and share that knowledge with the community so we can improve together. But my bias and goal is to get EUCs better received by the public and be included in eco-friendly laws. You'll see here I have footage down in the San Diego crew. I want to give them a shout out. They stay riding. They took me to some amazing places, including this bridge. And the children behind me absolutely loved it. It's gorgeous. Let's get back to the points. All right. So I want EUCs to be better received by the public and included in eco-friendly laws. I also support law enforcement, and I appreciate how they're trying to keep everyone safe. So that's my point of view. But his perspective as a police probably reflects his training. So if you ever get pulled over, you can probably expect a similar interaction with law enforcement, especially if you're riding in the shoulder of a public road, which for the record, my wife does not approve either. She prefers I only use sidewalks and bike trails. Even bike lanes on the shoulders, she isn't really a fan of because I have to interact with cars. But you'll see many EUC riders also ride on the street, as I was doing in San Diego. So let's discuss my police stop specifically and how it helped informs our EUC community going forward. Also, I wanted to bring up some of the community stories and share some of their experiences too with law enforcement. Okay, so it seems 28 miles per hour is a key benchmark here. Now, CHP or local police may not be familiar with electric unicycles, especially high-speed models. So this interaction is accurately displaying the common mistake of confusing EUCs with e-bikers or an unregistered motor vehicle. And since EUC isn't explicitly categorized, you can't even get registration for the public road anyways. So technically, we fall in the gray area, but there isn't a gray area in laws. So cops often don't know how to categorize us either. Now, laws are written black and white, not gray. So this video, you'll see that this puts us into a motor vehicle category, but since this isn't applicable, this cop would like to see us banned completely from the streets. I don't think that's reasonable. So I recently created a video talking about California laws going into effect in 2026. I suggest you go back and watch that. I'm going to build on that knowledge. Now, none of those laws explicitly talk about electric unicycles. I even heard of a community member laying out these facts to a judge in court. And since EUCs don't specifically fit into police officers and law categories, the enforcement wasn't viable and the judge dismissed the case. They were basically agreeing that laws written now don't explicitly cover electric unicycles. And from my own research, the closest definition I've seen is SB 1271 defining powered mobility devices. So in my previous video, I did pick and choose from California classification codes to build a general safety guide. A couple more practical suggestions that may help you if you're in a situation like this, or better yet, just how to avoid it. When talking with the EUC community in California, it is very rare that we actually get pulled over, or especially ticketed by law enforcement. Most of our interactions are genuine. They're kind, and they usually just want to be interested in what we're riding and ensure that we're staying informed and safe. I agree, safety first, but sometimes things escalate with law enforcement and can get worse. Now, various laws are going into effect 2026, but these mostly define e-bikes, so law enforcement will probably be trained on that. I've even seen recent footage of people in Irvine, California, impounding 13-year-olds modified e-bikes. Technology is moving quick, and now e-bikes and EUCs are rivaling motorcycle capabilities. But legalities matter. So in my story, this cop obviously struggles because the fact that EUCs are not e-bikes, which have to have pedals. And they're not explicitly Segway vehicles under California Vehicle Code 313 because they've got a single one wheel. So here lies the gray area, right? CVC 21050 states that every vehicle upon the highway is subject to a vehicle code. And CVC 670 defines a vehicle broadly as a device by which any person or property may be propelled upon a highway, which basically is a road. Now this is accepting a device that's moved exclusively by human power. So for me, I don't know if you and your EUC can hit 60 miles per hour like some of the other high performance models, it may get falsely flagged as a motor-driven vehicle under CVC 405. But that would need a license and registration, which is impossible for EUCs to attain. Now myself, I'm working on the assumption that EUCs could possibly fall under the Health and Safety Code section of 26300H1D. And that's a powered mobility device. This is defined as basically any personal mobility device with a lithium-ion battery that doesn't need DMV registration. All right, but cops may see that differently. Now keep in mind, I've passed dozens of cops, and collectively, as a community, we find most of the time we have no issues as if we're abiding by the laws of the road, the stop lights and stop signs. And that's where I messed up, because I was in the open bike lane or shoulder, and I thought it was okay to continue. I thought it was safe. So I went past this motorcycle cop, but I didn't know there was a police car ahead stopping all general traffic. So if I just stopped earlier behind the motorcycle cop with all the cars, instead of passing beside them, I probably would have never been pulled over. But with that being said, this conversation was enlightening. From his point of view, we are not allowed on the main roads. So I know that this is what they're being trained on. So I got 5 new tips for you if you want to be a more law-abiding citizen out there. Number 1, ride at speeds below 28 miles per hour. That's what a Class 3 e-bike is also limited to, so you can kind of fly under the radar that way. Second, steer clear of law enforcement by avoiding public roads and using bike trails to travel more often. Third, just off-road, or when it's safe to do so, use the permissible sidewalks. But put people and safety first. 4, follow cyclist rules and laws. Always wear a helmet, use lights for night rides. Number 5, reserve the high speeds for off-roading paths or private property. That's it. I mean, continue riding, I say. Cops might argue this is a motor-driven vehicle. And after this interaction, and thanks to the community suggestions, I even bought stickers to spark a better conversation around EUCs. That is a powered mobility device with reasonable specs. But, better yet, just when in a cop's watchful eyes, speeds at or even below 15 miles per hour to avoid scrutiny. All right, one more thing. You may get questioned about UL certification, which is why I recommend you buy InMotion wheels, which have pioneered the EUC market in this regard. They basically have the only UL certified wheels. The V6, V9, V12S, and the P6 are all certified at the highest quality. Use our affiliate links to research for yourself, and don't forget to use discount code EUCFamily to save some money at the checkout. All right, let's take a different angle. Let's say things escalated badly with a police officer, or I wasn't allowed to continue. What are some of the outcomes? Well, officers may try to cite EUCs for safety violations or lack of registration. Worse, I've actually heard of Southern California police confiscating wheels as evidence in their supposed cases. And they can hold on to that evidence for up to, I heard, 3 years before releasing that, even if the charges aren't officially filed during that time. Or they can start racking up impound charges at a yard, and then there's charges to get it released. However, I also even heard of a handicapped rider who made a complaint to the ADA and Justice Department when his got confiscated, and that got released free of charge in 9 days. Yet there was another member of the community recently who had a rather aggressive and physical encounter with the cops after he rolled through a red light. That cop chased, tackled, and wrestled him down. That's crazy. And I still think that this is an active situation with pending court dates. So be careful out there, and always stop if law enforcement pulls you over. Definitely try to be respectful, but better yet, just avoid this altogether. That'd be devastating if you ended up in a prison overnight for like a misdemeanor of fleeing the cops. I've even heard of this specific thing happening already. So truly, just be safe out there and respectful. Also, after 10,000 miles of sticking to bike lanes, bike trails, plus sidewalks, I've never been pulled over before. And when asking the community, their experiences are generally positive with law enforcement, but only when they comply immediately. Otherwise, things don't often go that well. Here's the bottom line. I appreciate law enforcement. However, I will continue to ride safely because I believe EUCs can be tolerated as powered mobility devices. But I want to share this and ask for your advice too. What would you have done differently if you got pulled over? Would you try to correct the cop and tell him he's mistaken? Not me. I was just happy to be let go. And on my way, that was my goal. But I do realize that regulations will eventually happen. So I want it to be in our favor and allow EUCs to be a part of this micro-mobility movement and eco-friendly green transportation. For now, I like that we are still in, I would call a gray area. Actually, I prefer this continues. I suggest you try to take part in local programs that give back and help out. Personally, I signed my family up for the town's 4th of July parade. We rode down Main Street in our town, waving at thousands of neighbors, introducing them to the EUC in a family-friendly setting. Another activity is I often take my kids to parks and teach other youngsters how to ride while the kids play together. It's been great. So comment below, what are some of the things that you've done in your community? I wanted to mention InMotion's latest P6. Whew, it is a performance beast. They've advertised 93 miles per hour, some already achieving 81 miles per hour GPS speed. Is anyone else having a hard time even comprehending these speeds? I hope you enjoyed this video. Shout out to the San Diego crew once more. Thanks for the wonderful tour and footage I had done. This is old footage, but very much appreciated. Back when I was riding the V13, now they have the P6, becoming the new king of electric unicycles. All right, if you like this video, hit subscribe. Thank you. I read each and every comment, and I'll see you out there for another ride.